Good morning. So, I'm doing a live on XF. At the same time, I'm having Zoom for YouTube and other media. I got to make small shots out of it. But practice, expression is where there is any signs of life. So, in the movie A Wrinkle of Time, A Wrinkle in Time, yeah, Mrs. What, Mrs. Who, Mrs. Which um, came because they heard a sound out there in the universe. And then we came to examine. Then I discovered over time that there are 14 misses. And then I discovered this movie, Mistress of Spices. Yeah, they all came together very nicely. There are several questions we have asked, unasked, and then together they make a good, nice masala box. But when we answer them, we have a good, nice dish. Otherwise, we have masalas. And we have the life we have, not knowing how to cook. Yeah. So we have lots of you have nature's patented products. You have carrots, you have tomatoes, you have lady's finger, potatoes, peanuts, we got leaves, all of that stuff. Not available on any other planet. But if you got to make your own patented products, you got to know what ingredients to add to what and in what combination. That's when you will have your product. That's when you have carrots and all of this patented product. You know how long it's taken to make any of them? And then what you do with them in a dish cannot be said because, well, when I cook, I know I also don't know what is going to go, how it's going to, what is going to turn up. Yeah, it's because now carrot wants to participate, and then like maybe a little chili flake. Yeah, and then I think sure, salt, no salt, salt, no salt, and then I will keep doing, okay, no salt. And then at some point, salt, salt, salt. Yeah. Because nothing else is there in my head. It's like salt, 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 salt. So it's a good, nice takemusu on the dish. Yeah. In the pan. Because there's no saying what's going to come up today. So my tea kitchen, my lives like this, the life that I'm doing right now is like that. There is no saying what's going to come up in this. So I've named it as Nirbeeja Yoga, the Nir of Nirbeeja Yoga. At least that's the intention. Now let's just see. What I mean by Nir is like that takimusu. Okay, on in the pan. Yeah. You like to cook, you like to eat something, you like to make something for yourself. What is gonna get made depends on the moment. Are you in the moment? Are you appreciative of what is happening in this moment? Then you'd say you have no plan. You just show up, and then what shows up is just what you do. You are fixated on the outcomes, and you have limited um, outcomes that shows up or limited results because you're fixated on what needs to show up. You've already fixed the plan. You've already fixed the match. And what's going to happen is nothing new. It's just you're always right. When you do something, you intend to do something, you get that. Yeah, a kind of. And then there are the consequences from it. So you have fixed the outcome. You want this to happen, and everything that is other than that also shows up because they're all complementary partners. You intend for this to show up, doesn't mean the other things are not there. So, what then do you do? How then do you do the right things such that you have, well, everything? Yeah. And also something and anything and nothing. They all have their places and they have their benefits from how you're doing things. So karmanye vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. How do your okay, okay, we'll have to explain this. I'll first okay, boy. I have two things now. I have two roads to go. One is nir, the other is karmanye vadhikarase ma phaleshu kadachana. Now, how do I remember this both? If we cover both, then we have the woods are dark and lovely, but I chose the one less traveled by, and that's made all the difference. Okay, two roads diverge in a wood, and I And I chose the one less traveled by, and that's made all the difference. Okay, wait. We will go with one. We are supposed to also cover the other. If we cover the other, this is a pigeon let out from from the book I Never Promised You a Rose Garden. Yeah, that's talking about a person going to a therapist, and the therapist describing that the schizophrenic patient is getting better because the pigeon came back. Okay, because there was this idea just gone out their intention, and then the pigeon came back. That's a sign that it's not just kili parna boy. It's not just, yeah, bird took flight and came back to home base. Yeah, so otherwise you have schizophrenic constructs of reality, kind of like this symptom. That book is good. I never promised you a rose garden. I never promised you a rose garden. It takes something to read it, but it's a, ooh, yeah. I'm never the same after that. Ooh, it's so good. All right. Ooh, okay. Nir or Karmanyavadikaraste. Okay, Nir is already there in front of me. So Karmanyavadikaraste Maphaleshu Kadachana, because that's not in front of me. So Karmanye. So when we say Ka, and also time. Ka is space. Yeah. And Ka is Alpaprana Mahaprana, like Ayurveda or Ayurveda. Yeah, we spell it as Ayurveda, but it's actually pronounced as Ayurveda. Yeah. So Karmanye. So it's like from Alpaprana. Ka, like me. Me and you together forms music. Yeah. Sat and Yam. Both together is you're including everything. You're not letting anything out. I mean, kind of sense. You're not leaving anything out. It's not like, oh, let go, and then that's going to be there. Like, what am I doing? You just let me go. Not like that. All included. It's just part of the whole system. You're not letting the. It's a complete magic. It's like no waste, reduce, reuse, recycle, no waste. No buy, reduce, reuse, recycle, no waste. Absolute. This is all in. This is there. Anything new comes, that's also part of this. Anything goes, that's also part of this. It's not going anywhere. It's all here only. Yeah, and then we make better. Yeah, it was like in the dish. It's not just going to. Okay, this dish. Yeah, like a prodigal child. I don't like this thing. I'm just going off. No, yeah, what? It's in the same dish. We are all in the same pot. Yeah, we're all in the same pot. We don't know how to handle our stuff, do all our stuff together. What are you talking about going to another planet? That's like you're going to litter that also. Watch the movie Wall-E. You will get an idea. Yeah, what you practice here is what you practice there also. Yeah, and then you're dumping waste again in space. Who's going to clean that up? Yeah, it's like adolescent. Grow up. Pick up after yourself. Take care of your stuff. Absolute. Yeah. So what you let out also is responsibly done, because that's going to go in specific places, and it's going to either compost or recycle and form other stuff, or otherwise, you're going to have to keep buying. I mean, we are on the same planet. Where do you think you're buying from? Yeah, right. And then if things are fine, then God Almighty, what have you, will send another asteroid. And then that will come. You're not going to get your vegetables and grocery. No. It's going to have some elements which you didn't find anywhere else, or proteins. And then you'll wonder, there is proteins out there in space. Yeah. So you get to know what's out there from, you need to consider this. Yeah, that's like um, Einstein's rock paradox. Things are already there, kind of. You see dig dada dig. You pick one, and then it's all part of, where did that extra rock go? Yeah, it's part of the periodic table. It's a part of our everyday masalas. It's the movie Children Who Chase Lost Voices speaks about. I call it. I understood as get all get all. Okay, the spelling is there in the movie, English translation. You go look it up. But that's the idea of when you're regularly kind of mindfully, it's not letting go. It's more like you're kind of dying. It's also called respiration. When you're inhaling, exhaling, and then you're letting that breath out, kind of. Where do you think that breath is going? It's going in what there is already there, and then it informs the system. a new idea, a new thought line is available. It's not, this is how you kind of die while you're living. Kind of. You make your creatives, you let go out. You let go out. You just create, express, like how I'm doing now. Yeah, expression. And so what's cooking in my kitchen? My whole body. Yeah, it's also how I then, what food I eat, what movie did I watch, what billboard did I read, what book did I go through, what did I think about somebody thinking about something, all sorts of things. Yeah, thinking about, yeah. Because I discovered I'm complementary with my significant other. Yeah, like hot, Ardhanarishwar. So I don't know if it's my thought or if it's my partner's thought. So I got to really think about where I end and another begin. So I have another's thought or I have my thought. I don't know which is my, you get the idea. So when I think about which is mine and which is other than mine, I have Sat and Yam. You get the idea? Also. And then if I don't, if I'm going to be holding my breath, thinking about, I'm going to figure out which is mine and which is not, you got to have life. Yeah. So you got to breathe. So there's inhalation, exhalation. That's like weaving. And Assam and all, I've seen that they tiku, they weave. Yeah. There's another that cup, you pour something, honey, for example, or you pour cream or something, and you go stir, stir, stir. Yeah, like that. So new information, stir, stir. It doesn't just go there, stir, stir, stir. It become very thick. That's why there is inhalation, like inspiration. There's also expiration. Like, for example, there's um, vapor, which is also telling the heat. There is heat. There is life here. Your body has warmth. There is life. So there is vapor. That's also sign of life. You're alive. You can feel, you're feeling sweat and all that stuff. Good. You're alive. That's because there is production happening inside. Yeah. And then from this vapor, rain also forms, clouds form, and then they rain. And then plants are getting informed by somebody thought about a dream. And that plant is having information from the rain. Yeah. And then somebody or the other eats vegetables, all that stuff, and they get informed too. Yeah. That's a different kind of seed. Um, um, Chickens, as opposed to, is said to be the most but genetically successful species, because a lot of people are eating chicken. And so the genetic material of chicken or the information has gone into us. And we may be more like, chicken came first or egg came first. And we may be like sunny side up. Yeah, go. Mm. We ascribe the good morning with the rooster. Yeah, also no clock. But you have good morning. And since some time we associate good morning with the chicken, rooster, kind of cock. Um, okay, there are other details too. For example, there are things where okay, chicken brings something to our thought lines, which gives us reason to think about what's happening when you're eating food. Yeah, when you're not having chicken, kind of, then you would. This is how you kind of eat non-veg. In the sense, other than veg, you think about the matter until you become chicken. You yeah, chicken, kind of. E. You can't say not like headless. Yeah, this is okay. What you guys chase chick guys who are in this adolescence people apparently, or dating, and then you call them chick. Yeah, do you really think of that like chicken? Yeah, or do you think you're little, like little chick from the egg? Yeah, and is it respectful, disrespectful? How do you associate with this idea of chick? And are you chicken in the sense you're kind of like, ew, yeah, not a very courageous chicken. Yeah, is a courage and all gone off. So we have certain association with the idea of chicken. And then we have the idea of good morning. And I'm thinking egg. And then there's a chick, which then comes from the egg. Yeah. And then have you hatched from your own egg to begin with? Or are you still in your own little cocoon, in your own little world, and having thoughts not even expressed anywhere, not written anywhere, and you are still kind of in your own little world, in your own eggshell, yeah, in your own, like Aladdin in a lamp, Aladdin, jinn in the lamp, yeah, and all enlightenment. And you say the world is all dark outside because your light is not on, yeah, because the sun is still inside the shell, yeah. You say good morning, alarm goes on, snooze, and then you're like, that's not the problem. The problem is you're still an unpacked gift, kind of you inside. Yeah, not expressing in any way. There is nobody. 14 questions. Do not know what question to ask you or what to have their questions answered by because you are not expressing. So, how in the world will the world recognize you? So, you're not even chicken. You're not even chicken. You're egg. Kind of. In your own shell and all beautiful, nice and beautiful and then bright and shiny. In your own shell, nobody knows. There's a light inside the bushel. Yeah, not yet come out. Come out, come out. Yeah. And me have been going on, coming out, coming out, coming out, going on, coming out. And then I discovered Sati, Sita, went into the earth. And then since then, I'm coming out, coming out, going on, coming out. Like, how did I go to the center of the earth? You have the Sri Chakra, went to the center dot. And then from there, I'm speaking and speaking. And then I'm discovered I don't know if I'm coming out or I'm going in. I was like, ooh, so much depth. And one of the things I discovered, I have a partner. And then I discovered baby. Person is a village and village is baby, all Mimi. Yeah. Ooh. And I have lots of people in my body, like lung people, liver people, cell people, tissue people, hair people. And me love me all up. And when we love me all up, there is this verse in the Upanishads that says, when you eat, all the breaths eat with you. So when you take care of yourself in such a way that you love all your people, wherever they also have a certain part of what you're eating. Some way they're also having some food like that. So you cook. So in the house, you see chimney. I have lots of chimneys. My body has so many pores. Yeah. Also 10 holes, 7 holes in my head itself, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostril holes, 1 mouth, 3 holes between my legs, 10 holes, and then skin has so many pores. Sweat. How do you think water vapor going out and forming clouds and then informing all the plants and vegetables and all of that? Also people and everybody. Earth, water, fire, spirit, space. Body, earth, water, fire, spirit, space. Earth also earth, water, fire, spirit, space. Universe also earth, water, fire, spirit, space. Actually, also nothing and everything. Nothing and everything also. So that's 8. Earth, water, fire, air, spirit, space, nothing and everything. 8. Ashtanga Yoga. But it's good to remember these 8 because I'm also made of all this. People around me are made up of all this. Earth is also made up of all this. Universe is also made up of all this. Multiverse also, fractals. Yeah. So when I am honoring all of my 8 at least, and there are other numbers, and when I'm eating food, honoring all of this, that is also honoring those who have not thought in terms of this are also thinking about that too, because it's called mirror neuron effect. Yeah, they also are they also reflect on the matter, and then somehow there is also information. Yeah, because when you do the right things, you be the change you want to see in the world. No, you are the change that then brings about change in the world, because you were born in your birth date and you have the thought lines from you borning. Yeah. And then how you live your life is how you ongoingly make better creatives. You make Human beings are born to live forever and ever and ever. because our bodily composition has the faculty of poiesis and apoptosis. So you can also die while you're living. It's also called expiration. Inspiration, expiration. When you're breathing, you're also expiring breath. And that breath, where do you think it's going? Depending on what's going into your body, what you're thinking, what is cooking in the house, only the smoke will have the chimney. Okay, the smoke through the chimney will have certain elements of what is cooking in the house. So what you're breathing is only what is going to then inform the whole system. Yeah. And then there is primary respiration and secondary respiration. So when you're breathing, when we say expiration, breath going out, that is from the lung breathing. And then our tissues have their own breath, which is why the muscles also are alive in an alive person. Bones are alive in an alive person. Yeah, one of the signs of life is they breathe, the cellular respiration, they say. So everything is respiring, inspiration, expiration. Where do you think that expiration is going? Yeah, there is breathing already happening. And then you are aware of it or not. And then you are taking care of, oh, there is some pressure here. That may be because those tissues are a little compressed. And then they're not breathing as well. And so pressure, different thermodynamics, biodynamics, yeah, hydraulics, air fluid levels, many things are happening. And then when you're paying attention to different departments in your house, body house, then those departments are functioning. Then your production unit is functioning as well as it needs to. And then creatives are happening. Yeah. So Nir, okay, you're in Karmanyavadika Reste. So when you are doing Ka, your half of the equation, yeah, then there's Ka, which is Alpa Prana, Mahaprana. So lower self, higher self. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. So me and my partner, like me and you. Me you can't see. Me is like Paramatma. Okay? And you is like Jivatma. So my body is all you. I got to feed and then take care of me. I owe you. I owe you for the life I have. From how I'm doing things, what I'm doing things. If I'm doing things safely, then I have the life I have. I have quality life. I have life. If I'm just going to regard myself, don't regard yourself as an instrument, because you have problems, you can solve problems because you have you. Yeah. And then you can work out solutions. Something is bothering you, you can work out solutions, work things through. This is a life partner we have also. You got like this heart, you have you, and you have your complementary partner. So it's like nature and nurture. Shiva, Parvati. Let's just say Dev Amrita. It's also called elixir of life, nectar, love. Water, when you drink water, you should remember Dev Amrita. The movie Brahmastra. Yeah, you can watch the movie Brahmastra. There they're talking about Dev and Amrita. So that's like higher self. Yeah. And Amrita is like the nectar, essence. Yeah. Kind of essence of life. So you say, oh, divinity. Yeah. So there is two parts to it. Yeah. So there is the substance, and then there is the um, soft, hardware, software, Devamrita, matter, energy. Yeah, kind of. So there is water inside us. And when we maintain the clarity of it, that's when you have the Ganga, uh, yeah, nurturing a good, nice life and all that. Yeah. So, so Shiva, Parvati, you should do regular Visha Chikitsa. That's when you would have other than toxic effects. Yeah, Ajirne Bhojanam Visham. Poor metabolism also causes the water clarity to be not as good as Devamrita. Yeah, and then your stories of life or your stories of love is having a lot of dukkha. Yeah, this happened, they did this, they hate, and all of that remains there. And then your life gets a little bit like sour. Yeah. And then curd is a good example, but curd maintains a muscular, neuromuscular composition. But when your Your love goes a little sour, that stays inside and could also cause acidity, cancer, what have you, all kinds of diseases. So when your care goes a little sour, then you should notice, I don't really care as much. That maybe because the milk of human kindness, the care, you've gone a little sour. So the milk is, yeah. And then you need to turn it around, recalibrate. That's not something you do here. It's not chakra. Yeah. You have to do Nirbeeja Yoga. Now that's where karmanye vadikaraste. Once your body is, you're clear about who you are, and then you have your complementary partner. Like there is me and you, and then I have me, like me, you, and then my complementary partner, my significant other. Yeah. So I'm never alone. Yeah. So that is mu plus mu square u square to using mu plus mu. Yep. Me. You have memes? Yeah, that's also me. Mm. Oh, wait. You guys all make memes and all that stuff. Yeah. Me. Mm. The movie Children Who Chase Lost Voices also has a Mimi. That cat. Mimi. But then Mimi. So Mimi. I got to think about this. I got a new word now. I was thinking Mimi. But it's a Mimi. We say me. Kind of 1.5 at least. Yeah. That Alpa Prana, Mahaprana. The other one is me is a me. 1.5, I suppose, or somewhere around there. 1.4, 1.5 forms 3. That is the third eye. You have Vesica Pisces, 2 circles, and then the Vesica Pisces in between. So 1.5 of this one, 1.5 of this one. Yeah. That forms 3. That's the third eye. Third eye, Vesica Pisces. Our body is fine like a fish shape. Mother, father, divine masculine, divine feminine. Yeah, you get the drift. So that's also Mimi, also fish. Kids, they call fish Mimi. Also, you've noticed, yeah? Meena. Meenakshi. You're not saying Mimi. You're using Mimi. Mimi. Now, how is this related? Okay, karmanyavadikaraste. From being all whole and complete and perfect as you are, imperfectly perfect and perfectly imperfect. Yeah? Whole and complete, imperfectly perfect, perfectly imperfect. Or me. And I know my complementary partner. And I'm the right partner for my partner. And my partner, right partner for me. Basically, given that. It's like lock and key. That's why hard. Otherwise, it becomes a little tiny. Yeah, no. All perfect. Very nice. Now, you're all born perfect with the body composition we have, and the story that we need to have in the whole scheme of things. A hammer does what a hammer does. A nail does what a nail does. If you're going to mix up the two, you don't have furniture. You get the point. So we each have our own role to play in the whole scheme of things. And when we do our own roles, then that which is possible from us being in existence comes into existence. So you may be a little gift pack inside and not expressing, not even speaking anywhere. What you're making available, the market that needs to know what they may be dearly waiting for your kind of products to come. It's like goods, asteroids, yeah, meteorite, all that stuff. It's like new information. So people here may be waiting for, goods are going to come, goods are going to come. And you are not opening your mouth. Yeah, you're already present, stardust. And you need to do the star trek to become the star that's good enough so people can see, oh, there's a star. That's where we're going to get that stuff. So contact that star and get the stuff. If you do not express, people don't know. They've been dearly praying, but don't know the star is already here. Star of David, the star is kind of saying, the king is already born in the manger, and you got to at least make your sounds, you got to make your stuff, baby, new baby. Yeah. Like that. And then over time, school and all that stuff, you're going to keep complaining and all that. You're not making your products available. Instead, what has already been made, You are born to make what already is better. You can keep being bitter about it's not there, it's not there. What solution do you see you can make available for the problems that you see? You may not be seeing somebody is dealing with rocket fuel to go to Mars. That may not be your problem. That may not be the problem that bothers you. Some problem bothers you. Pay attention to the problem that bothers you and look at what do you have in your repertoire of solutions, or what you can do by which you can address those problems you see, because that is your lot, that is your department, your niche, your chapter in the whole scheme of things. Each of us is a new chapter in the book of life. When we do our chapter stuff, have you read any textbook? Go through a chapter, each chapter makes something available which the other chapter doesn't. For that, you need to write a book. Only then you will know the difficulty in what is there in each chapter. For that, if you've never read a book, you won't know books are also arranged in such a manner. But nevertheless, you see, human beings, each one is a new chapter in the book of life. And each one have something to say which the other person doesn't, because that's not, the other person's problem is not their problem. Their problem is the problem that they have come to solve, that they have come to address. When each of us do our own job, mind our own business in the whole scheme of things, you know how many problems get solved. That is also karmani vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. If you're going to see that result is not there, or you are fixated on what result needs to be there, okay, this is the point. Okay. You are nothing and everything. Okay. Earth, water, fire, spirit, space, nothing, everything. Between nothing and everything, there is something and anything. Okay. How is this important? If you get fixated on what result you need to see, then you're fixated on something. Anything, nothing, and everything is left with हमारा क्या काम है? Yeah, हमारे भी काम है. We also have a job to do. You're fixated on anything. Now, how about us? They are also there in the whole party, and they will do their own stuff. Yeah, you don't know what they are doing, and you will have results, and then you'll be wondering, why is this happening to me? Yeah, I want this to happen, but I am seeing something and all happening. Why is this always happening to me? Because you're fixated on the result. You're all so much having so much intention, you don't know that you're fixing your own problems. You're controlling the matter, and to the extent that you're controlling, you're controlled. Yeah. So what do? You do Nirbeeja Yoga. Okay. You do nothing, and you improve nothing for the better. So when I'm fixated on nothing, anything, something, okay, nothing is at the heart of everything. And when you're improving nothing, anything, something, everything becomes better. How? Because you don't know what all is showing up. So what's the difference? You are at the cause of improving everything. And anything and something, however they show up, they're all benefits. How? Because you're fixated on improving nothing for the better. Nothing is like the bottom of the well. Yeah, bottom of the equation. When you're improving nothing, anything, something, everything shows up in their own time. That's also called um, taragati. Taragati. According to their taram is their gati. Class, master class. So according to their taram is their gati. Protons have their own movement. Neutrons have their own movement, their own gati, their own pace at which they function. Electrons. And then you have people, plants, animals, insects, microbes, earth, water, fire, spirit, space. Nothing, everything. Nothing also has, there are many levels of nothing, many kinds of nothing. Yeah, so you could get fixed in what nothing is. And then you could lose the benefit of uh, improving everything for the better. It's also called Shrigata conscience. Root parasite, you just do your stuff. When the myrtle breathes its fragrance into the air, it's not doing its breathing the fragrance into the air because it's want to see that bee or that bird noticing, oh, there's a myrtle here. Then it takes up the benefit from so many other things happening because of what is possible from myrtle being in existence. Yeah, jasmine or mutatamulla. Yeah, the jasmine in your garden. You may be very familiar with it, but what jasmine does, other plants, other flowers are doing their stuff. But what jasmine does was what jasmine does. So, um, so who you are, what you are, who in the world are you? I am who I am. Because this moment, what I was when I started this live to what I'm doing now, many, many, many things. So if you keep wondering now, who are you? Every time you would have asked, who are you? Who are you? Yeah, I am who I am. So that way I don't have to be fixed in and being in any particular manner. Me just doing my stuff and you're hearing. So that's also freedom. But I'm not fixated into being certain things. So how then do you hold on to nothing? Nirbeeja Yoga. So karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. So then what all shows up? I discovered life and elements in the multiverse. That also becomes possible. And if I'm going to look at it, that's like looking at a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. You'll get so lost in it because it goes through so many changes. And it's like, okay, this. You could fix something, and the butterfly doesn't form the way it needs to. Yeah, and then there's also called the butterfly effect. Yeah, when that's a science thing. Where if you're going to fix one bit, the other part is not as much in tandem, and it doesn't work that way. So the more you control, you're putting a cog in the wheel. You are the cog in the wheel. Yeah, you are being your own problems. Yeah, you're being your own problem. You're in your own way. When you control, that happens. That's one thing. So comparison, competition, these are all signs of you controlling the outcome. You kind of controlling the matter. And to that extent, you don't have original human intelligence. What you have is artificial intelligence. You have this plus this gives this. And intelligence is all not complete. It's more like partial differential equations, not yet integrated. And then integration also needs to integrate. So it whole is becoming wholesomer. Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate. That doesn't become possible when you see what is there outside is already whole, which is how artificial intelligence is forming. And then you notice there is also bettering. So you see the problem and then you address to that. You speak to the listening of the room, and then you see, you don't know, you see partial differential, and you know this can be better, wholesomer, in the sense when this connect together, then you have a better whole. Yeah. So then you speak to the room, and then so according to different levels, Taragati, you go to first standard, you're a 10th standard student, you go to first standard, then you know they don't know these. And then you speak to the room, and then they are more ready for in 10th standard, all this is going to happen. So I'm going to, yeah, I have to study this. And then when I study up, then 10th standard becomes available. And then 10th standard, oh, yeah. But the thing is, what becomes possible when you have studied your 10th standard is not possible to be seen by somebody who's never gone to school. That's one thing. Yeah. So I'm from almighty.university.com. Yeah, this is a um, Sadachara University. Yeah, so there's this, and then from there, Almighty Dotting trying to incorporate. Yeah, but living life in the multiverse also means incorporation. People in heaven and hell, they are like light and dark particles, and for them to then have a body that's human and come to Earth. Yeah, the incorporation, Almighty Dotting. So I'm making the conditions available for life to live in the multiverse, which means incorporation, more happening. More people come in, and then they all need school, and then all our stuff needs to be more available, which means you need to start expressing your gift from the egg that you are. Start speaking, expressing. Then somebody or the other will hear, then they'll know, oh, it's mera time aa gaya. And then they'll start making their products. And then so that's what's called Surya Koti Samaprabha. Your one sun, people around you all sun, lit in their own light. That's Surya Koti Sama Prabha. Like sun. When sun is on, so many, we have the solar system and we have Earth. So according to the time, the right time, we have Earth, and now we are all on Earth, and then contemplating on the matter. And then other planets, they'll get, okay, mera time aa gaya. And then they'll start coming alive in their own composition. So that becomes possible. That is what is possible from Medicine Intelligence. Nirbeeja Yoga. Yoga. When you're doing yoga, life and limits in the multiverse. Otherwise, we have different versions of yoga and still not really gotten what yoga is about or what yoga makes available. Yeah. So, Karmanyavadikarasti Maphaleshu Kadachana. Now, Nir is you cook seeds. For example, cereals. You make a pot of jambalaya. Okay. One pot wonder, kind of. Okay. You cook kanji or rice, gruel. Yeah. Or cereal. You make curry. When you cook it, the substance gets soft inside. If you could already eat it, yeah, like pomegranate or what do you eat just like that? Uh, Cereals. There are many seeds that you nuts. They're also seeds. And then cereals you cook it because they are not readily available to be just eaten like that because the stuff in your body may need a little softening of them or denaturing their composition a little bit, which means they are a little hard nut to crack. Yeah. Or they have substance which then needs to go through a little heat treatment, many things before they are digestible or their essence becomes available. Dragons are said to hatch from eggs after some fire treatment. Yeah, if you watch How to Train Your Dragon, there's a movie called How to Train Your Dragon. That they're talking about eggs, dragon eggs, they need to go through a little fire treatment. So some of our cereals are like that. You need to cook them well enough for their dragon benefits are. You don't know how old these seeds are. Some of these seeds have been there since some time. And then they sustain the test of time, and then now they are in our cooking pot. And then you need to cook them the right way for the dragon inside them to come out. You know? And then they'll breathe fire through your mouth. Or you will have gas. But then that's because you haven't cooked it. You need to know how to eat different things. Yeah, for example, you have corn. There's a way to eat corn. Otherwise, you can poke it one, or you can, yeah. Drumstick. There's a way to eat drumstick. Not everybody know how to eat drumstick. You can cook it, but don't know how to. There's a way to eat it. So when you do it the right way, then you know what all will happen. You could have gassy bloaty. Yeah, you could have this effect. So if you don't know what's gone into your body, somebody cooked and you're eating, okay. But you know your body is going through certain experiences. And that could be because there are different things that went into your body. And if you're just going to say, oh, gassy bloaty, go to the doctor, you're not aware of that there are different things that happen in your body due to many reasons. Cause, effect. And you would have sin because you have not related the sin, cause, and tan. What becomes possible? What's the outcome, kind of? And then your trajectory, your thought lines, what are you doing in life? So the choice of what goes into your body then affects the outcomes too. What you did this point in time. Yeah. And given that even if you eat something, ajirna bhojanam visham. So you would have eaten good stuff, but because you don't know how to digest it or how you go into uncomfortable spaces, you would lose time. Instead, if your digestion is good enough, Vishachakitsa goes on, even if it's, say, gassy bloaty, you're digesting and all of that. Vishaya, subject. Somebody teaches something that goes inside and it is not properly digested, metabolized, you are having discomfort, information overwhelm, or digestion overwhelm, or content in your seven dhatu sitting here, there, and giving you discomfort. What then becomes possible is you have an uncomfortable this moment. Your ability to be in the present moment gets affected because you're going into past, present, future, or should I say, not say, you're in your own eggshell. Or you have 7 layers of shells. Yeah? 7 dhatus. And you are living from your sins and not connected the cause and tan, what is possible. So when you are cooking all nice from your mighty kitchen, your Star Trek is, okay, you take something more. Nir is when the seed cooks, and then the essence comes out, which is also like Amrita, Dev and Amrita. Yeah, so you have matter and energy, all fine. And then you become a better me, matter plus energy. And then when you are a better Paramatma inside, yeah, me, matter plus energy, the you what you look like, how you do things, what you're speaking. Every new level of life requires you to be a new you, which means what you do, what activity. You are cooking something, you're writing something, you're creating something. Through all your activities, you're becoming a different person. You're becoming a better person depending on how well you're paying attention to details. And then you can track your growth and progress. Are you becoming better? Are you becoming worse? But if you're becoming 0.1% better than the last moment, than yesterday, you are Star Trekking, Star Trekking later. You become a star one day. Iterative improvement of small little details, small big details. There's the 80-20 principle. Yeah. So what is in your 20%? What's in your 80%? You got to do both. Yeah. So from this side or from this end, Mridagam, taka taka. Yeah. Or you have the Shiva's Damru, both sides. Yeah, both equally important. So it's 20 and 80. Together, you don't know how much you will actually end up doing. Yeah. But um, they say burn the candle on both ends. But that's also from how to metabolize both sides. There's the light side and the dark side. When you evenly metabolize, then you have Shrishti optimization, like flame is in a yellow flame, is arranged in the Vib gear. There's this light side and the dark side. And what we see is daylight, yellow light. So when you light a candle, what you see is the yellow light, which is the middle range, which means the fire is doing the keeping it together in the middle range. Walk the middle path, the golden mean between complementary opposites, light and dark. When you're doing this light metabolism and dark metabolism, heavy and light, which is what Nirbeeja Yoga makes available, so that you're taking care of her and her. Not like one is masculine is more important, feminine is more important, all that stuff. All kinds of confusion. And then there is so many complementary opposites: light, dark, mother, father, nature, nurture, um, um, artificial intelligence, original, new things. Many people keep talking about many things, but when you pay attention to, let's say, inhalation and exhalation, and both are important, or if we say matter and energy, both is important. Then, and so the Paramatma keeps getting better. Otherwise, you're stuck in one form of God. You see Shiva only. What about Vishnu and Brahma and all of them? They're also making available. Then there's Jesus, then there's Allah, and then there is what have you book, Guru Granth Sahib, and then there is trees and plants and insects. And when are you going to learn from all of them? They are all, even food also is God. Because if you don't eat food, then what that God makes available, you don't have it. Yeah. So if you're going to be stuck on one image, you're kind of stuck. Yeah. So with this, you are improving your matter and energy. So everybody is guru. Everybody's informing one thing or the other. And you don't get overwhelmed with this and this and this too. Because you're busy cooking from your mighty kitchen. Yeah. And then you're taking information, lots of information. This in this season. And you're paying attention to flora, fauna, and seasons. And then so you're up to date. You're regularly updating and you're regularly up to date. You're more aware of what's happening outside in the present moment because lots of things are happening in the present moment. Yeah. Yeah, including the temperature difference between left hand and your right hand is also something to be aware of, which means these are like two people doing two things: mother, father, masculine, feminine, divine. So they are two people doing two different things. And when you're paying attention to them, you'll bring a fine balance between left wing and right wing. Yeah. The politics of your life is not getting into one versus the other. And then, yeah, you could play politics with your own self. Yeah. And then your good wolf, bad wolf, all that things happen. And yoga, namaste is not happening because you're having a little, no, I'm more important than the other. Yeah. And then yin and yang goes a little yee. Yeah. Balance equation, zero balance becomes a little difficult. And the clarity of the Devamrita, the water in your body, goes a little, it could get a little sour, a little difficult. And then, yeah, the kind of pot you are, water pot, needs a little improvement. So, Nirbija is when the seeds all get digested and all that, and the essence is there, that which arises from that Narayana, that story. Yeah. After all the cooking, boiling, and all that, the water that remains, that which then emerges, the vap or the vapor that emerges is also what then goes through your pores and forms clouds. And then they rain, and then you have different kinds of crops. That's also Shishti optimization. New creatives come about. Yeah, new thought lines, all of that come about. That's also how you live in life in the multiverse. So how to cook in such a way that complete digestion, metabolism is happening, and you're regularly updating. Otherwise, you're saying disease, and then, oh, we got disease. Almighty. You don't know digestion. So, if any of this rings a bell, and you'd like to learn what is Nirbeeja Yoga or what's the benefit from it, it's like an entire syllabus. Yeah. So you got to start from the basics, which is why I'm making a course slowly, slowly. There is one part that is already up for you to invest in. It's called Human 101 Foundation Course. Join in that. I'm regularly updating content there, so it becomes easier then for you to see what bonuses is coming up or what other creators are getting added to the benefits. So join in. It's available on learn.dynamicstillnesses.com. Learn.dynamicstillnesses.com. Yeah. And then, yeah, I'll keep informing you on what's happening new from Mighty Kitchen. Yeah. My kitchen, medicine intelligence, my kitchen. Yeah. My enterprise. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope this has been of value to you. And I hope I've clarified the Nir of Nirbeeja Yoga. When you're cooking, water is at least the least that is getting cooked, kind of. And then you can have oil and other stuff. But the essence, um, elixir of life, as in the water as the essence. Try cooking something and try not adding oil, but starting from water. Yeah, just boil and then see what happens when you add a certain vegetable to it. It could be something that you could try out. But if you are not familiar with starting from water, you don't know what's happening in your own body. And then you can start from oil another time. But see what happens, how water softens the matter. And then when you are warming up from your own body, at least the water is getting cooked. The water is in some way getting better. And then there is the tissue and different substances, but water maintains life. And that which maintains life, when it's getting better, then the substance that you are is also getting better. So just a little warmth. Pay attention to warmth, softness, moisture of your body. Because that's also in some way cooking happening. And then the water vapor, and you're contributing in living life in the multiverse. Okay, we need to do a lot of Vishwachikitsa, but slowly, slowly, at least you're beginning the cooking process. Yeah. Heat on, and there's this movie Ratatouille. So I'm kind of helping all us rats, you know, have our dharma. I'm sanitizing dharma, like our body, dharma. So we have better Sanatana dharma, you know. Okay, because that is Ayurveda, Ayush, yeah, that way. Alpa prana, Mahaprana, both matter and energy both become better. Yeah? Otherwise, we're stuck on energy, we're stuck in matter, and then we're wondering how to appropriately utilize the energy we have, which is also affecting the Kardashev civilization's course. Yeah, we are all looking for new sources of energy. When you don't know how to utilize the energy or you already have, or you don't know what to utilize it for, so that you see better, see there are finer, easier manners. And then what is that you're utilizing the energy for, and what you're doing with that energy, with what is getting created with it. So if there is the cycle, the creation cycle is incomplete. It's not from no buy, it's not coming to no buy, reduce, reuse, no cycle, no buy, reduce, reuse, recycle, no waste, absolute. You're missing something very important. And we are all on the same planet for a good, nice reason. We need to grow up from being adolescents to taking care of ourselves. Yeah. So go cook something. Yeah. And cook with water. Yeah. Beginning from water. So thank you so much for your kind. That's called meristematic diet, by the way. Kind of. This inquiry, you kind of introduced a little bit into meristematic diet, which is also from the basics. Let's just say from the basics. Yeah, I will talk more about it on another one. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this has been of I hope this has been of value to you. Good day.